Dumbest rappers who went broke. Let's go.
Before filing for bankruptcy, 50 Cent was spending $108,000 per month to rent an 18-bedroom mega mansion, while T-Pain's bankruptcy was so brutal that by the end of it, he had to borrow money.
Bro, like, deadass, if you've got that much money, bro, I would much rather just buy something I can own, bro. Like, I would much rather get a mortgage on that property and it be mine. Like, rent is literally going to someone else's pocket for something temporary. Like, get a mortgage, bro. You want to start owning something at one point, even if it's a smaller house, bro. Like, I'd much rather it be my house so I could do crazy shit with it. You get what I'm saying, man?
Just to buy Burger King. However, let's begin by talking about DMX, who had to file for bankruptcy on 3 separate occasions as he couldn't afford child support. You see, DMX had 17 children with 11 different women, and almost every child resulted in some
real bad man. You know that one meme, bro? Oh my days. Holy shit, bro needs a nursery. You don't need to buy more houses. You need to buy a nursery, gang. God damn. 17 kids. Bro, y'all be making fun of like Muslims, bro. Holy shit, this DMX brother's moving different. 11 wives, holy.
Kind of lawsuit or child support requirement. For example, DMX was sued for $1.5 million worth of child support in 2008 after a genetic test confirmed that he was the father of a previously unclaimed baby, which when combined with his declining music career, resulted in his first bankruptcy filing. 4 years later in 2012, DMX was sued by a different ex-partner for a further $1 million worth of child support, and a year after this lawsuit, he'd filed for bankruptcy a second.
Yeah, but respectfully, why does child support scale up? Like, oh, because your dad's rich, you deserve to live a better life, have better, like, baby food and shit. Like, are we dead ass? Like, why does it scale up? If I'm making $1 billion or if I'm making $10, baby food is baby food, bro. Like, could I just bring them the product? I'm not even going to pay them, like, cash. I will bring them the products. I'll bring you the nappies, bro. Like, holy, why is 50 Cent got to pay more child support than some bum, bro? It just doesn't make sense.
Time. His third bankruptcy would occur in 2016, during which it would be discovered that DMX had racked up a further $1.7 million worth of unpaid child and family support. Which
bro, what are those? These kids are eating better than me, bro. Like, are we dead ass? 1.4 million in family, bro. What is he doing, bro? Buying them Lambos, bro?
Accompanied $950,000 in bank debt and $1.7 million worth of tax debt. Since he had $0 in his bank account, DMX was sentenced to 6 months in prison for the child support, a further year in prison for the unpaid taxes, and was also ordered to pay the government $2.29 million in restitution after he was released from his time behind bars. However, DMX never had the chance to pay the amount back in full, as he'd die in April 2021, and despite his extensive family tree, DMX never...
Bro, like, did he do it himself, bro? Like, goddamn, 3 million in loans for some kids, bro?
Wrote a will, meaning that his family was still involved in money-related legal battles even after he was dead and buried. Tiger was certainly better at managing his child support payments, although he definitely had a weakness when it came to luxury spending. After cultivating his career as a successful rapper, Tiger's name entered news headlines after he purchased a
this motherfucker looked like a reptile, bro. Is that just me, bro?
$100,000 Mercedes Maybach for his girlfriend, while being $480,000 behind in rental payments.
Spending money on women is the oh my days, bro. Oh my days. And now if you go like, even if like, oh bro, it's just stupid, bro. It's stupid. And even if you're just taking them on a date, bro, you know how expensive that shit is, bro. Like, fuck that. You go want to take her to the movies and she's like, oh, I want the popcorn. You want the fucking popcorn? You want the 30 bucks? You're paying a pound per kernel, bruv. You want the popcorn? Shut your dumb ass up, bro.
A luxury Malibu home. As a result, Tiger was sued by his landlord, although he'd failed to show up to court as he was on holiday in Turks and Caicos. Yet this situation wasn't the only...
Damn, bro's living the life. I see you, Tiger. He built like Superman, bro.
Example of Tiger spending big in one area while being financially behind in another. For example, in 2016, while shopping for a new Bentley, Tiger's Ferrari 458 was repossessed in the parking lot as Tiger hadn't been paying for the loan. Despite this, Tiger would go on to purchase another Mercedes Maybach, as well as a Land Rover, a Rolls-Royce Ghost, and a Rolls-Royce Cullinan, all of which were repossessed.
Bro, I know people like that, bro. Like, some people just live for like a good time, not a long time type shit. Like, you already know, like, what's the plan in 3 years, bro? But to be honest with you, all problems, like, they just happens, bro. Like, shit just happens, and at the end of it all, like, it just passes through. You get what I'm saying? Which is crazy. Some people genuinely live like this, and you don't know how their life isn't like fucked up, bro. Like you have no responsibilities. You take care of nothing. They have responsibilities, but they don't care about them at all. And life just moves on, bro. It truly is like hardship is what you make it. You get what I'm saying?
Non-payment while he was seen looking at a brand new Lamborghini. In addition to this, Tiger was sued by a second landlord for $181,000 after once again missing rental payments in 2016, which was followed by a third property-related lawsuit in 2020 where Tiger had racked up over $200,000 in damages and unpaid rent on yet another rental property. It was then revealed that Tiger was being court-ordered to pay for $200,000 worth of unpaid jewelry, which accompanied the accusation by his ex-girlfriend Black China that he'd been missing child support payments. And just to add a cherry on top of the cake, while all of this was going down, Tiger was in $890,000 worth of tax debt to the government. Despite all of this, Tiger is still seen flexing a lavish life on social media, which is a luxury unavailable to rap producer Scott Storch, who blew through $70 million in less than 3 years. Scott had earned this money by producing for some of the biggest names in music, including Kanye West.
Damn, bro, producers be making that type of money? That's crazy. 70 mil? Bro.
Dr. Dre and Jay-Z. Yet Scott Storch's insane net worth began to diminish after he purchased an insane supercar collection,
30 cars, including Bugattis and Ferraris and all that kind of stuff,
as well as a $10.5 million mansion where he housed more than 20 staff, including a boat captain, just in case he wanted to go out on his yacht.
Oh man, you know what I would do to be that boat captain, bro? Oh, being a boat captain's already like the easiest job ever, bro. Oh, I gotta be around chicks in bikinis and alcohol. Oh no, fuck. Like, bro, and I just get to get paid to do nothing in this mega mansion. Apparently, you're living there at that point, bro. You don't produce no beats for nobody, and you just live in lavish, bro.
Captain was on full-time staff?
Yeah.
In case you want to take the boat out?
Yeah.
And the boat was how many bedrooms?
7,
7-bedroom boat, worth about how much?
20 million.
20 million.
Scott went on to explain just how much this lifestyle was costing him.
My monthly overhead for my household employees was somewhere in the neighborhood of $1 million a month I was spending.
And that if he continued to work, there wouldn't have been any problems. Although this is a
Bro, this guy was single-handedly holding up the American economy, bro. God damn. $1 million worth of payroll on your house? Like, bro, this guy was genuinely like the biggest gift to America, babe.
he would do.
It went from me working and delivering to doing drugs and not going to the studio.
I just stopped working, and then I got depressed and jaded.
As mentioned, Scott stopped making music and instead began to get addicted to the nightlife in Miami. And with no money coming in plus $1 million a month going out, it was only going to be so long before Scott hit zero. By 2009, just 3 years after having a net worth of $70 million, Scott had filed for bankruptcy. 6 years later, Scott would file for bankruptcy a second time, claiming to have a grand total of $3,600 of assets to his name, $100 in cash, $500 in clothing, and a $3,000 watch. Most shocking, his music companies are valued at $0, and in 2014 he made a grand total of only $10,000. Throughout this hardship, Fat Joe was one of the only...
So he's talking shit. He's hiding that money, bro. He's hiding that money. There's no way this motherfucker went from 70 million knowing your network is too strong to be making 10K and living like broke. Like, he's not on the streets, bro. I'll promise you that.
rappers to keep their friendship with Scott, possibly because Fat Joe went through a similar situation himself. Fat Joe had earned $1.18 million in 2007, $1.28 million in 2008, $265,000 in 2009, and $630,000 in 2010. However, despite having made this $3.3 million in only 4 years, Fat Joe failed to pay taxes on it. He was able to come up with $718,000 and had also done extensive charity work. However, this wasn't enough to satisfy the judge, who sentenced Fat Joe to 4 months in prison. Despite taking personal responsibility for his actions by stating, "There was a lot going on in the years that I didn't file my taxes, but it was my responsibility," less than 4 years later, Fat Joe entered news headlines again after the IRS revealed that he still owed them $1.1 million in taxes. However, this number was absolutely nothing in comparison to Fat Joe's friend Lil Kim, who owed almost 4 times more and became, quote, too poor to file for bankruptcy.
Bro, Lil Kim, who the fuck is that? Why is she so rich, bro?
Lil Kim wasn't nearly as successful as some of the other rappers featured on this list. However, this didn't stop her from purchasing a $2.3 million mansion back in 2002, notably with the help.
Damn, that's 2.3? That's nice, bro. Honestly, if throughout my life, like, fuck, bro, what's an amount of money where, like, bro, if you got 30 million, and you spend it right, you set for life, gang. You can do whatever you want, like genuinely whatever you want. You're not gonna buy the plane, but you can go anywhere you want. You're not gonna buy the yacht, but you can use it whenever. If you invest it smartly, you get what I'm saying? That's the life, bro. But I'm saying like 30 mils is like a low number, bro. But if you're richer than 30 mil and you're still working, like you got a mental illness, bro. You're worth more than $30 million and you're still working. Like at what point is it the American dream, bro?
Of a mortgage. Throughout the 2000s, Kim's music career slowed dramatically, and by 2018, Kim was filing for bankruptcy as she still owed the full $2 million on her property despite the 16 years that had passed. In addition to this, Kim now owed $1.85 million to the government for 13 years worth of unpaid taxes, which accompanied a further $185,000 in unpaid legal fees. The bankruptcy became even worse after discovering that by 2018, Kim was earning a comparatively small $18,000 per month, of which $2,000 went to staff, another $2,000 went to clothing, and
$2,000 for staff. The fuck you hiring underpaid Chinese children? Staff? Like one person making $2,000 a month? That's like low key. Where's she living, bro? That's the below minimum wage. Anyway, that's insane though. Like just people genuinely be making $20,000 a month, and they like, bro, like how are you still struggling financially with $20,000 a month? By taking out millions of dollars worth of a loan, but like, damn, these people are so financially irresponsible, bro. It's a pattern with entertainers in general. Like, they're just so bad with their money. Like, I'll be hearing people talk about how they don't know where their money is going. Oh, I don't know. Some guy manages my money. Like, are we dead ass, bro? Like, I got $2 in my bank account, which is probably why I manage every cent, bro. If a cent leaves, if I'm on the kiosk and they ask me 2p to help 1,000 starving children, fuck the starving children, bro. Hell no. I don't give a fuck. Work harder, bro. Like, fuck you taking my money for. You get what I'm saying? But these people genuinely don't know where their money's going, which is insane. You're working so hard to get money and you don't know where it's leaving, bro. I'm just joking about the kids, by the way, alright?
$1,000 went to travel fees, meaning she had less than $4,000 per month to dig herself out of $4 million worth of debt. Somehow Lil' Kim managed to, quote, get her finances into good shape, and her bankruptcy filing was dismissed. However, MC Hammer wasn't quite so lucky. Despite having the 5th best-selling hip-hop album of all time, which sold 17 million copies and featured songs such as You Can't Touch This, MC Hammer wasn't able to stay out of financial trouble. He bought more than 17 luxury cars, a private jet, 2 helicopters, and 21 racehorses.
Bro, what? Is he opening a farm? Like 21 racehorses? Yo, what the fuck? Bro, like, genuinely, I don't understand when people have 17 luxury cars. Like, this is probably gonna get edited when I'm rich as fuck, because I'm gonna be rich as fuck, and I have like 30 cars. No, but genuinely, bro, like, after 5, like, what's the point? You got 5. What 17, what for, bro? What are we doing, bro? And they only drive like 2 of them, the rest are like just there. Like, what's the point? I don't understand. Just get a watch, bro. You can sell that at least.
Some of the horses were valued at around $1 million. Most of his expenses, however, were on his home. He bought a property in Fremont, California for $12 million and spent another $30 million on renovations to turn it into his dream home. He added a bowling alley, basketball court, baseball field, recording studio, movie theater, 17-car garage, tennis courts, and 2 swimming pools to the 40,000 square foot mansion. One of the pools was shaped like his signature baggy pants that came to be known as Hammer Pants.
See, that's such a irrelevant. Why did you even bring that up, bro? Talking about how he's spending 50 million on his home, and you're talking about how the Hammer Pants swimming pool. Like, what are you on about?
Several marble statues of himself throughout the property and installed a gold hot tub in his bedroom. And to keep everything running smoothly, he employed a staff of nearly 200 people on the property, which cost him an estimated $500,000 a month.
Man, what the fuck? 200 people, bro? Like, what are you doing in that home, bro? Like, there has to be like 3 people in charge of just wiping your ass, bro. One guy in charge of pulling down the toilet paper, another in charge of cutting it. Like, are we dead ass, bro? You need like 2 max.
Unsurprisingly, less than 5 years later, MC Hammer had filed for bankruptcy, at which point it would be revealed that he hadn't only spent his entire $70 million fortune, but had also taken on a further $13 million in loans, which had been borrowed from over 200 different lending institutions. Despite having spent a total of $42 million on his California dream home, the property resold for only $6.5 million. However, if we're on the topic of expensive homes being repossessed by the bank, we need to talk about Birdman, who's ranked as the 15th richest rapper in the world with a net worth of $110 million. But this is what makes Birdman...
I've never heard of him or Lil Cool J, the person underneath him. Like, how are these people rich, bro?
110
Like, I've never heard of these people. And you have it in between Eminem and Ice Cube and Snoop Dogg and Timbaland. I've at least heard of that guy, bro. Who the fuck?
million. But this is what makes Birdman's story unique. If he was worth over $100 million, why was his Miami mansion being repossessed by the bank for non-payment? Birdman had purchased the home back in 2012 for $14.5 million, yet
Bro, like, this shit is so beautiful, bro. Like,
by
god damn.
2017, a foreclosure suit
But people just got money like crazy.
had been filed by the bank, and quote, all personal items within the home, including platinum records gracing the walls, a pool table, and dozens of pairs of shoes, were all confiscated and placed in storage. The mansion was eventually sold by the bank for $10.85 million in July 2020. However, Birdman's lawyer has come out to explain the foreclosure, stating that it was the result of illegal loan terms set by the bank, so perhaps take Birdman's bankruptcy with a grain of salt. However, there's no ambiguity around how T-Pain went broke, as he's now come on multiple podcasts to explain just how brutal his bankruptcy was. T-Pain had built up a net worth of over $40 million at his peak in 2007, with all of his closest rap friends advising him that as long as he kept rapping, the money would keep on coming in.
Everybody before me that I had to look up to, they were just like, no, this is great. Once you start rapping, it's good, just money all the time. Nothing bad's ever gonna happen. Your family's not gonna come after you. Just rap, and it's just girls and swimming pools after this.
For this reason, his spending began to get out of control.
I bought my Bugatti.
You bought it for $2.1 million.
$2.1 million.
And then you, very shortly thereafter, you sold it for, all they gave you was $800,000.
Yeah.
So it was like renting a car for
This is what I'm saying, bro. Like, genuinely, buying cars is so stupid, bro. Like, buy it only if you can buy 20 of them. Like, not even, I think the rule is like 2 or 3. If you can't buy 20 of that car, don't buy it. Like, when you have 17 cars, like, what's the point, bro? That's like actively losing money. I could never sleep, bro. I love how we just have this $2.1 million Bugatti and then this fucking little piece of garbage, bro.
$1.3 million.
Yeah.
With the purchase of his Bugatti accompanying a $400,000 chain and houses for his workmates,
I got this house I want to get. I got this other house.
This is what money does not buy drip. What the fuck is that? Hold on. What is that? No. What is this,
chain
bro?
and houses
Like, are we dead ass? Like, what are we buying, bro?
for his workmates.
I got this house I want to get. I got this other house for my assistants and, you know, all my runners and my producers and stuff. So we bought a house after that, and we just started going crazy with the money. I wasn't paying attention to it.
Which was extra bad, as T-Pain never even checked in on how much money he had.
I didn't want to know because I was led to believe that it's only gonna grow. Because these rappers told me that I'm just gonna make money forever. It's just gonna.
That's what I'm saying. How do people not know how much money you have, bro? I keep track of every cent in my $2 bank account. Like, I'll read that ass, bro. Like, you don't even know how much money you have? Like, I wish to one day be in that sort of financial situation, bro. Like, I know people who are dead ass broke, and when they buy stuff, I'm like, how much did that cost, bro? He's like, I don't know. I just knew I could buy it. Bro, you're gonna be a bum. Like, are we dead ass, bro?
Keep going up and up.
In the process, T-Pain began to create less music, and within a few years, his accountant was advising him that he was almost out of money.
My accountant was like, dude, you're like out of money. And I was like, no, I'm not.
And while T-Pain seemed confident
Nah, but honestly, bro, life is so much about attitude. Because those people always, bro, they just figure it out. Get what I'm saying? They always have enough money. It's weird. It's crazy, bro. Like, it's all about attitude. Problems are only as big as you make them.
that he had plenty of cash left, reality set in for him after he'd have to borrow money just to buy food.
When you say you was broke, you had like $0 broke?
I had to borrow money to get my kids burger.
What's the most you ever had in the bank at one time?
40 million.
However, T-Pain was lucky to get away with a loss of only 40 million, as the final person on our list makes this number look like loose change, 50 Cent. 50 didn't only release the 10th best-selling American hip-hop album of all time, but he also made over $100 million on a vitamin water investment, plus a further $78 million from a luxury underwear deal. In the late 2000s, 50 Cent made an estimated $300 million in
Bro, 50? I never knew he was like that. He's insane.
only 2 years. So when it announced that he was filing for bankruptcy in mid-2015, with debts totaling over 32 million, the entire
But what did you buy, bro? A country? Countries, bro? You bought a country with debt? Like, what are we on about? 300 million? How can you spend that? Like, what are you buying, bro?
world was thinking the same thing. How did this happen? Well, after 50 Cent uploaded a sex tape with Rick Ross's girlfriend, 50 was successfully sued for $7 million, which accompanied another court order for 50 Cent to pay $17 million to a headphone manufacturer after one of their collabs went sour. 50 Cent's clothing company G-Unit Clothing then fell out of the spotlight, which accompanied the closing of his movie company G-Unit Productions, as well as his boxing company SMS Promotions. Throughout the whole process, the global...
Bro, he just was opening anything, bro. He was dead ass about to open, like, a Victoria's Secret, gang. Like, what are we opening?
Financial crisis had taken a toll on the value of 50 Cent's investments, and by 2015 he was earning a comparatively small $185,000 per month. You could certainly argue that this was enough for 50 to get back on his feet. However, $108,000 of this monthly income was going toward an 18-bedroom mega mansion, while the remaining $77,000 was going toward menial expenses such as his gardener, with bankruptcy documents revealing that 50 Cent still owed money to his stylist, fitness coach, and even his barber. Despite this, he began to troll on social media with posts such as this one, spelling out the word broke with $100 bills, and within 2 years, 50 Cent had paid back $23 million worth of his $32 million debt. 50 Cent eventually got back to zero, and according to Google, has built up a net worth of $40 million over the last 5 years.
Man, good shit from 50, bro. Going from 300 million to 0 to 40 million. Man, that's interesting. I bet he has a lot of stories to tell, you get what I'm saying? Anyway, boys, man, subscribe. I post videos like this literally every day. And you already know, man. See you.